All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel. As always, I'm glad to have you. I wanted to talk today. This is actually a two-part series video, and the next one will come out a little bit later. It's actually going to be a longer video than this one. But this video, the series is going to be more. It's not even really a series; it's just a two-parter. Is going to be more about where like improvements. I kind of want to make this a series because I think that there are issues that, it's like a constant journaling of where are issues in this game, both good and bad. I think by issues I mean like both. There's good issues like hey, they're giving out a lot of stuff. Bad issues in the sense that like resource management, we'll talk about that later, and that'll be a video that's what this video is about. And as I'm like going through other YouTuber comments, I'm looking at the Reddit, I'm looking at the Discord, I'm looking at chat, I'm looking at the in-game chat, I'm looking at just a lot of different anecdotal pieces of evidence. I see frustration right now kind of rising. Also, like, games started out really strong, and then it's, the honeymoon period's kind of wearing off a little bit, right? And that's to be expected. That's normal. These games function, I think, on a peak and valley system. There's peaks. When Superman came out, oh my God, super hype, movie just came out. Here he is in game. Yeah, right? But what do you do when there's not a piece of media that's like enticing people to continue playing the game? I've gotten a lot of comments like, oh, hey, I just watched the movie. I just pulled Superman. It's like, that's awesome. That's super cool, right? But what happens when now it's like, all right, the game mechanics kick in? I still think this game is very good. And not even still. I think it's a great mobile game. But I think there are some things that are some issues that are causing levels of frustration for different people. Now, what I want to show right now is where I'm at, the foreground, why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. I think it's always really important to contextualize information. I'm at 21.6 right now. So I'm not the furthest, but I'm also not. I'm progressing relatively. I think I'm progressing at a decent rate. I am not like super duper whaling here. I try not to super duper whale because I think it will then make my account almost then comes the I don't want to say the excuse, the claim. It's like, well, how can you relate to normal players? And I can't, right? Even now, I think that I'm. There are issues that a lot of people are having that I don't have, and I think maybe part of that is alleviated by because I spent a little bit of money. But I think there are other issues that I'm having as well that because I don't whale, I'm running into these issues pretty regularly, and I deal with them every day when I'm playing the game. And so there are two issues I want to talk about. The first issue, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about both of these issues equally, but the two issues I'm going to foreground what the issues are right now, and that is, first of which, resources. I think this game does have an issue with resources that's contributing to what I like to call walls. Pretty noticeable walls in the game that are going to frustrate players. The second issue is communication. I think there is a lot of issues with communication in terms of like information, conveying information, clarity of information. As a teacher, these are things that are very relevant to me as an educator, as someone that is all about information transparency and clarity of expectations, clarity of instruction, right? There are frustrations that I'm having with this game, and I'm going to talk about those in a few minutes. The first issue, I want to talk about resource management. So the reason I'm foregrounding where I'm at, 21.6, is talk a little bit about what issues I'm running into. So what I want to first foreground here is I'm going to go to my characters. So I want to show my characters right now. I have two characters at 160, and I am still working on, and then I have two at 141, and then one at 140. Like, this is what I'm using as my like leveling characters. The reason I pick Superman is I have a dupe of him, so I can get him to 3 easily. So he'll be a good one just to kind of say, here you go, it's done, right? But I want to look at this. Two 160s, and I want to look at the leveling. So let's look at, okay, titanium. That's this right here, right? That's this. Look at how much it takes to get past level 160. 36,000. 36,000. That's insane. Like, I'm not hitting this for a while, guys. I'm just not. How am I supposed to get past that for a while? So one of the things that I have issues with is that resource generation should be similar to where you're at, right? So when I go to my level, I want to show you that 21.6. So let's look at 21.6 right now. And again, I can probably push this further. Okay, this is now hard for me, right? You see that right here? It says hard because it's at 626, right? Now, let's go look at what my resource generation is. I'm going to do this so I can see it, right? Okay. I'm only getting 92 titanium per hour, and I do have the $5 pass, right? So that's even increased by 10%. That means that if you're full free to play, you're probably making at the same level around 80, 2-3-ish per hour, 4 maybe, right? I'm trying to just math, like quick dirty math in my head, right? It's 36,000 to get to past 160 for one character. For 5 characters, that is 180,000 titanium. There needs to be a better management, like developers. That's too much. That's too much. It's going to take months for normal players to get past this point. Months. I get that you want to slow down progression. That is totally, I get that 100%. But we are talking here, this is insane, because you know what? We're going to hit another wall, 180. So it's like, great. I just passed up 160. Now I need to get past 180. But then here's the other issue that I'm running into. XP. I've actually in these AFK games never hit this kind of issue. Like usually XP is relatively fast. Actually, usually the titanium resource is the hard one to get. But then once you get all your characters past that point, it kind of feels like you can almost just 140 and then you almost push them to 160 pretty quickly. Not in this game. I actually feel that even XP generation is very, very low. So if I go over here, so let's look at XP, 16K per hour. Now, let's go look. Okay, I just collected. Let's look at Hal Jordan. So if I look at him, I need for one level, I need 93,000. 93,000. Let's do the math here. So let's do, I'm going to do my calculator. Let's go, okay, all clear. 93 divided by 16. You can see the number, 5.8 hours of XP collecting for one level, and that's with 10%. I need 6 hours to get one level. 6 hours. That's too much. You need to reduce the requirements here. And then for the people that are already at these points, I think right around 160, you really need to just make it easier. You're going to say, well, what about like all the people? Then you give them back resources. And just give them resources as you did. Because this is too much. This is too much. I thought it was going to slow down a little bit. And I was like, all right, I'm expecting slowing down. This is way too much of like the hike in resource requirement is insane. There are a lot of AFK games that wait till 200, right? But wait till like level 200 and then slow us down a little bit, right? But we're talking like, it's a lot. That's like a wall straight up of just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to be sitting here for a good long bit. And people don't want to feel like that. They don't want to, like, there should, like, I'm at technically what is hard. Like, if I was at quote unquote easy on the story, like what's easy, that means that I'm just kind of let the story just kind of sit. And then I shouldn't be making that many resources, right? But I literally am sitting at a part that's like already 30 to 40% higher than the level that I'm playing at, right? Like, I think I'm sitting at like 460 right now is my team power, and I'm pushing 630, right? So it's got about 200,000 power on me, and that's where I'm stuck at right now, right? But why is it that I'm not generating, it takes me 6 hours to get a single level? 6 hours of XP farming just to get one level. This is going, like, you in these games, one of the most critically important things to do is balance this idea of progress versus like, you know, hitting walls. Like, it is okay to have walls in these games. I think it is, because then when you overcome those walls, it feels amazing, right? But right now, those walls feel like they're very steep walls, and it is causing people to get frustrated. They're like, right now, we need to be very careful of, remember, like I said, time to like investment versus like what I get out, right? Input versus output. You should always feel it's relative in regard, right? But right now, I don't know if I personally am fully feeling that, because it's now, granted, do you need to put a lot of time into this game? No. I'm actually now, my account is now hitting this point where it's kind of like, okay, I've got some resources. I almost can predict when I can push the levels further when I hit big milestones. Like, one milestone I'm waiting for right now is when they release the artifact. This is actually going to transition me. Well, I want to finish this point and then I'll transition to the next thing. You need to be giving out more resources. Like, that's just, if you're going to keep these things the same, then you need to give out resources. And I think, you know, either reduce the requirements or increase the resource management and generation. One of those two things needs to happen. Because, like, if we go look, I want to go to my consumables right now. Normally in these games, I feel, let's go to consumables. Look at what I don't have a lot of. XP token, like these XP things here. They're very stingy with this one. I don't know why you're stingy. I feel like actually in other games, I get these more than even the titanium, but I feel like I'm running into the titanium more than I'm running into like the XP. So it begs the bigger question, why am I not getting a lot of XP? Where is this XP thing? Like, why am I not getting XP token? Like, or tokens, but like XP consumables? Like, I feel like I never get these at all. So it's incredibly difficult to raise my characters up. So developers, very quick and easy fix. Give us more ways to get XP by the hour. Right? Give us more. I should have an equal amount of titanium generation and XP generation. There are many AFK games that recognize this. You need to recognize that we are now stuck. And this resource is not being made readily available to players, and it needs to be made readily available to players. I think there are other ways we generate these things, but it's like, so here's this brings this other issue. We go to convergence, right? Well, you're running into the same issue. Like, the next one that tomorrow, which opens up in about a couple hours for me, is going to be the faucet, right? And so that's where you get your XP. But here's the thing. If I can't beat the level, then I'm just stuck, right? So then I'm just sitting here like I just don't have any way to generate enough XP to push anything right now. So then I'm just kind of like, all right, let me log in, do all my dailies, and then log back out, right? And that's fine, I guess. But you are going to frustrate players, and eventually someone's going to be like, well, I'm not progressing enough, so I'm just not going to log in anymore. Right? They don't care if, you know, like Fat Man Beyond just came out, please. Your player is frustrated now because they're not feeling like they're progressing at a linear, or I don't want to say linear, but they're not progressing at all, right? That would be that is very frustrating, right? And so then it's like part of that, again, is why gamers are gamers, is that they want to, you know, we want to level up, we want to get stronger, we want to see that progress, we want to see our efforts rewarded. And right now, I think a lot of players aren't feeling that, especially free-to-play players. And that's, I mean, with free-to-play, you have to be very resourceful with your uh, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be very consistent. I don't want to say consistent, very intentional with your resource management. And if you're not, then they're gonna punish you for it. And that's normal in these games. I hate to say it like that, but that's just the norm. That's just the norm, which is why I try to make content so that you can make informed decisions and not have to feel like you need to spend money, right? Now, so developers, like, again, I want to come back to this point right here. And I do a lot of stuff in this game, and I also spend a little bit of money. Why is it I have no XP? None. Zero. And then on top of it, yes, I've got a lot of these 1 hour things right here. If I use them, let's see, how much can I generate? 4,000. That's it. 4,000. Remember, I need 36. Tell me I got a ninth of what I need, and I'm still not done with Superman's rank up. So I gotta rank him up too. So I need, right now, in order to level up Superman and Hal, rank him up, I need 48,000. That means in the current my 51 hours will get me 1/12 of the way there. Not even a 10th. You need to be rewarding us a little bit more. We shouldn't have to spend money to get this much. Like the resource generation to resource the resource generation to resource needed right now has completely and utterly shifted to the point where it's not sustainable for players, and it will legitimately frustrate players. You need to find ways to incorporate more resource generation so that we can progress a little bit faster. I'm not saying like crazy faster, but like enough that it shouldn't feel like this much of a wall because we still have 15 stars that we got to make. And I get it. You want this game to go on for years and years and years, but you got to also play to the point where we want to be here for years and years and years. Right? And so, giving us a little extra is not going to hurt you in the overall, because trust me, like I'm at 21.6 right now, and it's difficult. I should be, or just make the levels easier, like reduce the power needed. Maybe that's the solution here. Just reduce story power a little bit and make it so people can move faster. That can be a quick and easy. Just reduce the power, make us progress a little bit faster. Because I will tell you, 18 and 19 are just brutal. They are brutal. It's because you're transitioning from no artifacts to having artifacts. It is a brutal transition. Okay. The second thing I want to talk about is communication. And if, relationships, with everything. Communication is essential. It is one of the most important things for humanity, is just communicating. And so I think this has been a little bit of an issue. I think the developers have gotten better than the first week, and in the betas. But I still think it's an issue. Let me kind of go over my issue here. And so I have a very specific issue, and developers, I think I'm gonna frame it this way. I think you're doing a great job. But I think there are many, in the terms of like giving us characters and ways to get those characters. I think in terms of character generation and like getting characters in this game, it's very friendly comparatively to other games like this. I think it is incredibly friendly. However, the communication and the resources are not friendly, and that's pushing people away. What I mean by communication, let's talk about communication. I want to go here. Okay, I'm gonna go to this email right here, and then So first part of the email, they talk about, okay, here's Guy Gardner, here's his kit, right? And then the second thing that they talk about is this Green Lantern artifact. So now, they give us information on it. They break it down. They don't tell us when it's coming out. I would assume it would come out with Guy, right? Like you release a new artifact, you release a new character, and an artifact that's perfect for him, right? Okay, so they say Guy's coming out pre-release on the 21st. Okay, he's actually coming out on the 24th. Great, cool, sweet. All right, easy to know. Yeah, Guy came out yesterday. Collection. Where's the artifact? There is no notes. There's nothing. There's no explanation. So if I go here, let's go to, here's how we recruit. Let's go to Event Center. So I was going through the events. Emerald, there's the Emerald Eclipse, which I have gone over. There's the Limitless Resolve, which is just the summoning event. There's Crisis Controller, which has been out already for a little bit. There's the Strongest Gladiator. That's been out already. Digital Universe Limited. I'm going to make a video on that. Gotham Carnival. There we go. That's the arrow thingy-mabob. Right. So limited time rankings, 1 ton of valuable rewards. So there's that resource management. Again, there's gold. But where's that XP? What am I? That's been out for a while. Character Fusion. That's been out for a while. Where is information on where this artifact is? You talked about it. You mentioned it. Now, I've even had questions like, hey, so where is it? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Right? And so where is there a news? Like, how do players get news? Right? So I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to go to the website. Okay, I'm at the website. The last news update was the same thing we saw in game mail, right? Where's the news? Where is this? Where like you just dropped him, but there's no update on your website. Let's go to roster. I mean, there's nothing here. This is cool. I like this. This has always been nice. It's helpful information. But like, so if I click on Guy, right? Epic, great, mighty DPS, perfect, effective, and blah, 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 blah. They do this, right? But that also, we have another issue here, right? What about his badge? Why can't I see what his badge is doing? Why, when I go into this game, like if I go back here, why is it, so if I go, and I go, let's do Hal Jordan. Great. Why is it that the only way I can know what his badge does, like, why is it I can't see his stats? All of these things, like, there are, like, let's say I don't have a character, right? And I'm like, oh, I wonder how good they are. So unless I have this character, I have no idea what their badge does. I don't know. There's no information on it. There's zero information that they give the player to understand how good a character is anywhere. So like, okay, let's do Supergirl. Let's go to Supergirl. There's no information. This is just skills. I have no information on her badge. I have zero information on her badge, what it does. I cannot evaluate how good a character is based on this information because the badge can change a character. Case in point, Jon Stewart. He becomes a different character at badge rank 3. Legitimately. Like, look, let's go here. Go down. At the start of battle, immediately casts his ultimate once at no cost. He becomes broken. He's the best tank in the game next to Lex Luthor. He's like the best tank in the game. But that's not conveyed anywhere. Another frustration I'm having with this. Let's go. I'm going to use Lex Luthor. Okay, let's look at his leader skill. Now, because I have him at rank 8, I can see what his rank 10 leader skill does. Now, okay, let's go Ocean Master Affinities. I don't know what his rank 10 does because I can't see it. I cannot make good calls on which characters to raise and do because I don't have the information present. Do you know how many times I have to ask chat or my comment section or anyone, or they give me this information? Because I generally don't have it. And there's no way to find it. That is not okay. That is not okay in today's day and age, with information transparency being a gigantic piece of like a gigantic hole in our society. I mean, I just made that as like a generalizable claim, but I'm just saying in general, guys, we are in a day and age where information is readily available and should be readily available, right? That is like the whole point of the internet. Why can't I not find basic information like this? Oh, let me figure out if I want to raise Ocean Master. Oh, his leader skill at rank 10 heals. Like, I should be able to just scroll. Why can't I just scroll down to see what it does? Why? Why do I have to go to third-party websites to figure out this information? Why do I have to rely on other people who've raised the character up? And most third-party websites do not have that information readily available either. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Okay, maybe on the website. Maybe it's here, right? Nope. There's no information on his. This is Superboy, by the way. So his leader skills to burn 1. Passive, basic, ultimate. There's no information. No badge information. No leader skill information. You are creating a space where people cannot make informed decisions, and that leads to more frustration. It does. We've all had those bad teachers, and we're just like, what are we doing? I feel like that every now and then. I'm just like, what am I doing? So what do you want us to do? Case in point, let me show you something. So last night I made a video, a news video that you saw. That was actually a remade video. Why was it a remade video? I was trying to figure out this event, and I was just sitting there like, so where do I get the rings? Where's the missions? So I literally was like, do I go to like security plan? Is it here? That's where all my missions are at. I was like, okay, there's nothing. Yeah. I was like, do I go to the store? Is it here? I genuinely, I'm like, is it here? Right? I literally sat there, and I know there's a yellow button that says here, right? But that felt like it was directly almost to obfuscate us. Gotta use a big word. It was like, where do you actually find this information? I show you. And I showed it in the video. Get more, right? That seems, okay, you're like, Mr. Squirrel, you're being just dumb and blind. Fair. You can say that about me. Fine. That doesn't feel good, though, when I'm like looking around and I'm genuinely confused, right? There's no event tab. There's like, it's off to the side and it's kind of yellow. And again, what was the intentionality behind that, right? And I'm not trying to, again, I don't want to poop on the developers. So I have another video praising you guys a lot. I think you're also doing a lot of really amazing things in this game. I do not want this to be a video about bashing you. This is a video, I truly and genuinely love this game. This is some of the most fun I've had playing like an AFK kind of game in, I would say, ever on the phone. I get to play with, like, I'm having fun, and I get to play with characters that I grew up with, that there's nostalgia for me, and it's fun, and I get to think. It's not just like, I'm gonna push the buttons now. It's like, no, I actually am very intentional with the alt. Like, I genuinely feel like there's a level of skill. Like, I feel like, if I'm knowledgeable and I understand this game and I know how to operate my characters, then I'm rewarded for that. So I want to, and there is a video praising you guys, I promise, coming out later, and I feel like I've made 2 very negative videos, and I already have like, I explain like a 3-to-1 rule. But this is also like, I'm seeing frustration starting to build, and some levels of frustration is normal, but one point that should never be a normed frustration is, what am I doing? That is not okay. we need more intentionality. We need more communication. We need more transparency with some of these things. Because like one thing that I think I've seen a lot of games do, and you know, it reduces a ton of frustration, roadmaps. Just give us a small roadmap. I'm not saying like, you know, you need to tell us exactly what's happening, but maybe an overview of the event. Like, hey, when's the artifact coming out? I was granted, I had issues with stream yesterday, and I was like, oh, well, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. There wasn't that much stuff that came out. I shouldn't feel like that. Is it coming out with Mr. Terrific? When is Mr. Terrific coming out? Right? Is he coming out when the Superman event ends? Is he coming out when Guy Gardner's event is done? Are you going to run 2 features at the same time? I don't know. That's frustrating. That's genuinely frustrating. That's how you build frustration in a negative way. There is good levels of frustration. I will say that. Good challenge. There is healthy levels of frustration that do help push. Like, you don't want people to breeze through your game and then just be done. And that's not that's the negative, right? That's where people, right? But you should have, I think, the difficulty, maybe some more resources, but then more communication and more ways to communicate with us in a norm fashion. There's no official Reddit. That's where we can get a lot of information. I haven't, maybe start an official Reddit. Maybe, the official Discord. I know a lot of people are like, it's not that helpful. I'm like, okay. So we need forms of communication that maybe update the news a little bit more. I don't know, but put maybe 30 to 40 minutes, get someone on communication, and that is not just sending things via an email, in-game email, but actually making sure it's posted somewhere, especially when this is kind of like a big game, right? Like, your game kind of blew up. Last time I checked, it's been sitting in the top 10 on iOS in America for a while, right? And so with that should come more forms of transparency with the player base about what's going on, how's it going on, and to give us information that can make informed decisions. Because I'm going to say right now, I'm really frustrated about the Green Lantern artifact. Because I'm like, oh, this will really help. I'm saving up resources. Oh, what do you mean it didn't come out? When is it coming out? It didn't come out with the guy that it was intended for? Really? So then when is it coming out? Is it coming out this week? Next week? Sometime? See, these are things that, I will tell you, resources, fine. It can be frustrating, but not knowing what's going on is what's going to push people away. And what makes me sad is that this game is really good. Despite all of its flaws, I would say there are more pros than, a lot more pros and cons in this game. A lot more. But if you want this to be a sustainable game, and again, I'm going to say this, it is normal for games to have peaks and valleys. I think we're in a valley right now. That's fine. I think we'll peak again when Mr. Terrific comes out. Woohoo! Right? But the valleys also shouldn't feel like we're in the marine trench, right? It should feel like we're at sea level. And how do you alleviate feeling like we're in the trench? You communicate with us. You say, because then we know when the next peak is coming, and so then we're like, okay, I can wait, right? I released a video that was to entice players, hey, he's coming. They gave us, he's there. He's a support, Mr. Terrific, right? But why isn't that just kind of readily available information? Right? I'm not saying tell us this whole kit, but hey, he's going to be a support, guys. And I had to literally sit there and pause the video really fast and show people, yeah, here's a breadcrumb. We don't know what he's going to do, but I don't know. That's my thought right now. And this is more, communication is really important. And that's what I got right now. And please give us some more XP stuff, or lower the difficulty level, or increase resource generation. I don't know. but we need to not feel like we're hitting as big of a wall as we are. Like it literally feels like progress just kind of like full stops. And then I'm like it literally feels like I'm like, okay, I'm leveling. This is great. And then it feels like, oh, okay, I'm going to level 1 level in a day. Oh, well, based on that, 24 hours, I get like maybe 3 or 4. It should be more than that. Like I literally looked at this mission. I want to show you. That's my last point. Level up a character 5 times. I was like, can I even do that? I was like, I don't even know if I can make enough XP to level up 5 times. But though, that's a real problem. Right? So we need more resources or make the levels a little bit easier because people are starting to get real frustrated, and frustrated players are players that aren't playing your game. And that's a player that's no longer here. That's sad. Okay. Remember, as always, failing is just your first attempt at learning.